Everybody, this is Mrs. Clark, and today I'm going to show you how to code this adorable picture so that it has your custom questions, and if people answer them correctly, it appears pixel by pixel. You can get this exact template and follow along with me if you click on the link in the description, but I hope that this will also help you if you are learning how to code your own pixel art that you've already created. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing I'm going to do is come up to the percentage bar, set it to 75 so that I can see everything on one screen. The next step is to write our own questions, and you do that just by clicking and typing. And then if you want to, you can change the font and the font color, and you can resize the question bar if you need more space. So go ahead and write your questions and answer them as well. Now we're going to talk about the coding. You're actually only going to write 10 codes. You're going to write a code for each answer box. These are the only boxes that we're coding. When you write your code, you're going to tell the computer two things. You're going to tell it what box you're talking about. So in this case, it's this blue one. And then you're going to tell the computer what needs to be in that box. In other words, the answer to your question. When I say that you need to tell the computer what box it is, every single box on this spreadsheet has a name. And the way you name a box is by telling the computer the column and the row of that box. When you click on a box, it will darken the top here to show you the column, and it'll darken these over here to show you the row. This box is column B. They're actually all in column B, which is very nice. And then this box is in rows 4, 5, and 6. But when you're naming the box for the computer, you use the first number. Therefore, this box is called B4. This box is called B7. It's column B, row 7. This box is column B, row 10, and then this one is column B, row 13. So you have to tell the computer the column and row of the box so it knows which box you're trying to code, and then you tell the computer the answer to your question, whether it's 9, 12, February, etc. With that being said, let's look at the actual code. It's all the things I was saying with a couple symbols thrown in. It's right here. I recommend writing it down. So the code or the custom formula is equals $column, $row equals answer. Column and row, that's how you tell the computer the box, answered your question. For example, the code for this box is going to be equals $B, $4 equals 9. The code for this box equals $B, $7 equals 12. This box will be equals $B, $10 equals February. And since February is a word, we'll put it in quotes. I'll show you that in a few minutes. So let's actually open up the coding window and start. Click on the box you want to code. It's always going to be the answer boxes. Come up to Format. If you don't have this menu, click on this icon. Click on Format, come down to Conditional Formatting. This is the window we'll be using the whole time. If you lose it, that's how you open it back up again. I always start at the bottom. And the first thing I'm going to do is pick one of the colors from my picture and tell the computer that that's what color I want this box to turn. If you click on the paint bucket here are the colors in the picture, but if you're not sure which one it is, you can always click on the picture and find it that way. I'm going to do this darkest green. So I like to click on the picture and just check it out. So it's the one furthest on the right of the custom colors. Before I come back, it's good practice to always click on the box that you're actually coding so no mistakes happen. All right, so now we're back in the coding window. Click on the paint bucket. And now that I've looked at the color, I can be sure that I have the right one. I've selected the color. The next step is to write the code. To do that, come up to Format Cells If. Click on it, go all the way to the bottom, and choose Custom Formula Is. Now a box appears below for you to write your code, telling the computer the column and row of this box and the answer to your question. Equals $B, that's the column, $4, that's the row, equals 9, that's the answer. Keep this window open, but I'm going to close it just to show you that the code is technically done. I told the computer if there's a 9 in that box, turn it that shade of green, and if there's something else in the box, do not turn it green. So the code is done. What we want to do now is just add on the pixels from the picture and attach them to the existing code. Let me open it back up. That's what this last step 4 is up top. It's called apply to range, and it's basically saying, okay, you've got the code. What pixels do you want the code to work for? Right now it has B4 to B6, which is this box. That's good. We want that box turning green, but we're going to add in the dark green from the candy. To do that, we click on this little window and slide this over. And I'm just going to click on the dark green that's in the picture. But I need to hold down a button on my computer, and that button is Control. It's usually in the bottom left of your keyboard. If you have a Mac, hold down Command and then click. And holding down Command lets you keep everything you've clicked, so it's like a big group. You want to make sure that first box, it's B4 to B6, is part of the code too, because I need the answer box to change colors also. I have clicked on everything here. Now I'm going to lift up on Control, and I need to do 3 steps to finish. Step 1 is to hit OK on the range. Step 2 is to click Done on the code. Step 3 is very important. Come up to the paint bucket, click Reset, and we're done. Everything is still selected, so just click anywhere, and we'll test it. Come to this 9 box and hit Delete or Backspace, and the dark green disappears. Put your answer back in, and you have to click off of it for it to work. Green comes back, so that one worked. And when I click on it, I can see the code is right there. Get rid of the 9 because I don't want to get confused about what's been coded or not. So I do want my picture disappearing in front of my eyes. But you can see the code is still there. I just took the 9 out. And we'll move down to the next answer box and we'll do it all again. I'm going to click Add Another Rule. And we'll start at the bottom again, picking the color. Let me see here. Let's do the darker gray. Just to be safe, I'm going to click and just see what gray it is. So it's the one more or less in the middle. Okay, good practice. Click back on the box you're actually coding. So I don't want to accidentally code one of the pixels. I only want to code these big answer boxes. All right, come over to your coding window, start at the bottom, pick the color you want it to turn. Now we write our code. Come all the way down to Custom Formula Is, and a box appears below. We're going to write our code telling the computer the column and row of this box and that the answer needs to be 12. Equals $B, that's the column, $7, that's the row, equals 12, that's the answer. Code is technically done, and now we want to attach the pixels that are in the picture so that they also activate. Click on Apply to Range, slide this window over, and hold down the Control or Command button. And now we're going to click on the dark grays that are in the picture. If you click on something that you don't mean to click on, like that's not that big of a deal. If that turned dark gray, it would be fine. But you can unclick it to undo that. Or you can hit delete on the one that you selected. Up. Now lift up on Control and do your 3 steps. Hit OK on the range, Done on the code, and then remember to come up to the paint bucket and reset it. Click off because everything's selected right now. Come back and delete the 12. And now you can test them both out. Remember, you have to click off of it before the colors will appear. We've got our full picture there. Delete the 9 and the 12. Codes are still there over on the right. Click on your next box. For me, it's this February box. And we are going to do it all again. Click on Add Another Rule. And I want to do that lightest pink there. So before I come in here, I like to click on my picture and just find that color. 4th one in. Click back on the box I'm actually coding, which is the February box. And now I'm ready to start. Pick my color. And now I go to Custom Formula Is, and I'll write my code telling the computer the column and row of this box and that the answer is February. And I want to show you something. I mentioned earlier that if the answer is a word, you have to do something special. You have to add quotation marks around it. And see how it turned white to show us it didn't work? Now it turns pink to show us that it did work. So if your answer is a number, you don't have to do that. But if your answer is a word, you do need to put quotation marks around it, just like dialogue in a book. Then I clicked on Apply to Range, and I am holding down Control and selecting these pixels. One other thing I want to show you, you can click and drag like that if you have multiple ones that are next to each other. Lift up on control. Try to think about what those 3 steps are, especially the third one. 1, hit OK on the range. 2, done on the code. And 3, reset the paint bucket. Click off of it, delete, and test. Next box, click on the box you want to code. Click add another rule. Pick our color. I want to do the darkest pink. That's just kind of in here. Clicking on it so I can see where it's located. It's the one in the middle, okay? Clicking back on the mercury box because that's the one I'm actually coding. And we'll start by picking our color. Next, we're going to write our code, telling the computer the column and row of that box and that it needs to say mercury. B and 13 equals, quotation marks, mercury. There's my code. It's pink, so I know it worked. Come up to apply to range. Slide this window over. Hold down control. I always put this window somewhere where I can still see that mercury box because one of the big mistakes that I made when I was starting out was that I would accidentally not keep that mercury box selected, and I do need the answer box to change color too because that's how I can find the codes. So I just want to make sure that that's still selected. One other thing I want to say is that these 2 pinks are kind of similar, so if you were to accidentally click on another pink like that and turn it dark pink, it really would not matter because it's just shading on the candy. All right, 3 steps, hit OK, done, reset the paint bucket. All right, we're going to keep going now. I have 6 more questions and 6 more colors, so I'll just keep doing 1 color per question. I'm going to speed up the video, and then we'll check in at the end and see how it looks. When we're finished, it should look like this with no pixels left, and I can cycle through the answers and see the codes popping up on the right to show that every single answer box is coded. And then I can open those if I need anything. Something I want to say too, there's a video here called Common Pixel Art Mistakes and How to Fix Them. So if the box didn't code or there's a pixel left over, that's really easy to fix, and it's very normal to have mistakes like that. So check that video out. It's about 5 minutes long. It's also in my playlist. All my pixel art playlists have this video in it. And let's go ahead and put our answers in and see how it looks. All right, there we go. Let me know if you have any questions, and I hope you have a lot of fun with this project.